Chapter 5, Bipolar Disorder, Highs and Lows. Bipolar, also known as mania depression, is a mood disorder that affects over 2 million adults in America. Chances are many of these adults were bipolar as adolescents. The dramatic changes in mood that swing from depression to mania and that are at the core of this illness can be hard to separate from adolescent moodiness. This chapter explores what it means to be bipolar and how it may affect your life. It also highlights some important facts that any adolescent who is bipolar should be aware of. Charlie had always been an anxious child. He had a lot of trouble separating from his parents and missed 30 days of school in his first year of kindergarten. His parents would have to drag him into the classroom kicking and screaming. As he grew older, his anxiety got worse, and he got in trouble controlling his temper. He often flew into a rage over small things. When he was about 10, Charlie's anxiety started to get really out of control. He would get ready for school, leave the house, but then turn around and come back. He just couldn't make himself go. He was sure something bad was going to happen. Instead of going to school, Charlie would stay at home and play on the computer, isolating himself from the world outside. His parents tried everything they could to help him. He started to have serious trouble controlling his temper and became very aggressive. He saw many doctors, but most of them just thought he was acting out. His mother suffers from bipolar disorder, and she knew that something more was going on. She recognized some of her own symptoms of mania and depression in Charlie. Finally, one doctor diagnosed Charlie with depression and prescribed one antidepressant. The antidepressant plunged Charlie into a severe maniac state. His rage became uncontrollable. He stopped sleeping, and his depression mounted. As his mother described, by this time, we were having daily episodes where he was psychotic. He would kind of sing and talk in baby talk. That was one of the warnings for us that it was about to happen. He was psychotic and would talk about killing himself. He was attacking himself and us with knives. He was attacking the cats. It was almost like a blind rage that he would get into. He was very, very strong, and for the duration of it, he had an uncommon strength, and it would go 2 or 3 hours. I could barely hold him down. When it was over, he would just be himself again. He would be so sorry. He'd be very apologetic, and we'd all just be exhausted, and he wouldn't remember anything of what happened for that 2 or 3 hours. More than once, his parents had to call the police to take him to the hospital because he was so out of control. Several doctors and many I cannot speak today. Agonizing months later, Charlie found the right doctor, the right therapy program, and the right combination of medications. Charlie had been diagnosed as bipolar with an anxiety disorder. Charlie and his mom both agreed that they can set each other off with their moods, and they have to watch out for that. But life at home is fairly calm. After missing over 2 years of school, Charlie is now back with his friends in grade 8. He understands that his illness is something he will have to pay attention to all his life. and he has the support of his family to help him along the way. As an adolescent, you probably get pretty moody, and any given day you might go from really happy to bummed out and back to happy again without really thinking about it. This is fine and normal for both adolescents and adults, because life can be a roller coaster of emotions. This is a condition, though, that takes that ride to an extreme. Bipolar disorder, also called maniac depression, is an illness that makes a person's mood, thoughts, and energy change dramatically. Someone who is bipolar may swing from a low mood depression to a high mood mania several times a day. These lows and highs can also last for days, weeks, or months. When people with bipolar disorder are low, they feel depressed, just like the depression discussed in Chapter 3. When they are high, they can feel irritable, invincible, speedy, and unstoppable. My doctor told me that I had an extremely low lows and extremely high highs, but there was no gray zone in between them. She explained that my brain just had trouble balancing them, and that my lows and highs were more extreme than they should have been. Susan, 19.